What if the Pacers fucking win the championship? Like, what if what if the Pacers legitimately win the championship? They, at the time of this recording, this probably come out on Monday. I'm assuming this is coming out on Monday. And but at the time of this recording, they are up 2-0 against the New York Knicks. They stole 2 games in Madison Square Garden, which is fucking crazy within itself. Well, not that crazy because the Knicks are fucking cursed, but they stole 2 games in Madison Square Garden. In game one, they came back from down like damn near 20 points. And within like the last, I want to say like 4 minutes of the game, just started chipping away at the lead and ended up winning the game. In game two, it was a little bit closer, but they still ended up stealing another game in MSG against the Knicks. And they are currently up 2-0. I wasn't expecting this. And anybody besides, unless you live in Indiana or you're a Pacers fan, nobody came into the season thinking the Pacers would be in this position. At least I didn't. They started the season off horrible. Halliburton started off the season horrible. Granted, we ended up finding out like he was hurt, but people were saying like he fell off and he overrated and all this shit, just dogging him out. I did a video on my PLAX TV channel, I think, on what happened to Tyrese Halliburton. Like it was real bad. Again, we found out it was because he was injured from the summertime. I think even before the summertime, like he had got hurt and he was dealing with an injury and he played in the Olympics and shit like that. So it was just an ongoing nagging injury that he never really got to take care of until recently. He's obviously been better, or like the second half of the season he was better. But I wasn't expecting this. I don't think anybody else besides Pacers fans was expecting this, and it's a shock, but it's a delightful shock because it's like I like seeing teams come out of nowhere and make shit happen and do the unexpected. Now, now again, they only down 2-0, and the Knicks could like win one. They could even steal two in Indiana. Like who knows? The Knicks aren't a horrible team. Like their team is good. That's why they were my favorites going into this series. So that's why I'm shocked. But the Knicks can come back and make something happen. It's just not looking too good. And I talked to my buddies, like a couple of my friends are Knicks fans, and a couple of my friends are just hoop fans like I am. And I was just asking around, like, what do y'all think? And my one homie, who's not a Knicks fan, was like, oh, no, they got a chance. They could definitely get a game in Indiana. And then if they get a game in Indiana, it's a series. And then my one homie, who's a huge Knicks fan, shout out to Duve. If you go over to PLAX TV or PLAX Gaming, you'll see him, or you'll see him and stuff like that over there. But he said that it was over, and he's a fucking Knicks fan. He was like, "Yo, we dropped two at MSG. They came back from down 17, then they kind of just coasted. Not coasted. It was a close game, but they kind of just smoothly beat us the second game. He just was like, it's over with. So I don't know. I don't know. I think the Knicks do have a chance to make something happen, but they need to win this next game, no matter what. If they don't win this next game, as you guys may know, it's 3-0. It's over with. It doesn't matter at that point. And I don't think the Pacers are the type of team to blow a 3-0 lead. Well, first of all, no team has ever blew a 3-0 lead, and I don't think we going to start with the Pacers. Just down the stretch, the last like quarter, the last 6 to 8 minutes of the game, the Pacers have been the best team in the playoffs right now. Like just down the stretch, they do all the right things. They're playing defense. They knocking their shots down. They playing together. And they look unstoppable down the stretch most of these games. Even in the last series, like they just look damn near perfect down the stretch. They might be the clutchest team and still in the playoffs right now. Fucking Aaron Nesmith scored 19 points in the fourth quarter in that first game. Aaron Nesmith, Apparently, he's a two-way 3-and-D lockdown defender. Some crazy build somebody would make on 2K. He's playing amazing. I don't even think I've seen him miss. He shot like he was like 6 for 8 from 3. He made 6 3-pointers. 6 fucking 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. And not, I think maybe a couple of them were wide open, but most of them were contested threes. The last one he made was a fucking fader with OG Anunoby in front of him, who's not a bum. He's a lockdown defender. He made a fading 3 on one leg. And I said, what the fuck is this guy on? Well, who do you think you are? What the hell is what the helly? What the heliante? What the fuck is going on? And then on the other side, I'm not saying he's stopping Jalen Brunson because Brunson's still getting his, but he's playing really good defense on Brunson. Like he's making it as difficult as he possibly can. So not only is he scoring on one end, but he's checking the best player on the other side and doing a relatively decent job. And I'd say it's a decent job because they're up 2-0. And they shouldn't be. It should at least be 1-1. It should at least be 1-1. The Knicks shouldn't have lost that first game. They was up 17 to 20 points. They shouldn't have lost that first game at all. The second game was up in the air. Okay, maybe Indiana could have got that one. But that first game was just ridiculous and unacceptable. And this leads me into, I think if the Knicks lose this series, that organization is just cursed. And I've said multiple times, I'm a Knicks hater, right? But I like this team. I like Cat. He's been playing out of his mind. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Brunson. I like these guys. Josh Hart. I like all of those guys. Even McBride and Mitchell Robinson. I like this team. Tibbs is a good coach. He runs his players into the ground sometimes, but I think he's even learning from that. Because instead of running a 6-guy rotation, he's running an 8-guy rotation, which still ain't that great, but we in the playoffs, so, it makes sense. I like this team. I just don't like the Knicks as an organization because how are you one of the oldest teams in NBA history? Like when the NBA first became the NBA in 1947, it was like 6 or 7 teams, 6 to 8 teams, something like that. And the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Lakers were all teams. The Lakers were in Minneapolis at the time, but still, like the Lakers was a team. The Boston Celtics were a team, and the New York Knicks, the Knickerbockers, were a team. I said Knickerbockers, not the other word. But they were all 3 of those teams existed when the league started, and they've been here ever since. And Boston has 17, 18, 19 championships. The Lakers have 17, 18, 19 championships around there. The Knicks have 2 or 3. How the fuck are you in the Mecca of basketball? You're in New York City, Madison Square Garden. You've been a staple in the league since 1947, and you haven't won a championship since 1972, and you only have 3 championships to your name. And one of those championships, I think, was in the 40s or the 50s. And the next 2 were in the 70s with Walt Clyde Frazier and Willis fucking Reed. If they lose this series, they're cursed. I guess you could say when Patrick Ewing missed that layup in the playoffs that one time when his knees was all fucked up, you could say they was cursed then. But, I think this really solidifies it because this team, I feel like, had the best chance to really make something happen and at least give OKC a run, or Minnesota, but I'm thinking OKC going to the finals. To at least give OKC a run in the finals and possibly win it, and y'all struggling with the fucking Pacers. But the thing is, though, I gotta stop saying that. I gotta stop being a hater because every series I'm like, oh, the Pacers gonna lose this, or the Pacers ain't gonna do this, or or when they do beat certain teams, I'm like, oh, that team was injured. Some of their best players was injured for a few games. That's why they won. There's been no injuries during this series. The Pacers are just making it happen. And like I said, Neesmith is going crazy. Halliburton has went from overrated to underrated in a matter of a season, which is beautiful. And then I think the biggest problem is like the Knicks have good defenders, like even Cat. I'd say Cat is like their worst defender. Well, McBride, but I guess from the starters, I'd say Cat is their worst defender. And even he's decent, right? Jalen Brunson, he's not a lockdown guy, but he's a decent defender. And then you got OG, you got Bridges, you got Josh Hart. You got Mitchell Robinson, who's been playing fucking amazing on defense. I love Mitchell Robinson. All those guys, they got a Rolodex of good defenders that can switch and do a lot of different things. Very versatile defenders. But the problem is, Indiana have a lot of shooters. Everybody on Indiana is a fucking shooter, even on the bench. From Miles Turner to Halliburton, Neesmith, Nembhard, Mathurin, all of them are shooters. So when you're switching or when you're going to help on Halliburton's drive, because you can't really just let him get a one-on-one. So when you go to help on Halliburton, or when you go to help on Miles Turner when he posting up, or something along those lines, you're leaving somebody open. And that's the biggest problem. Like they're constantly, like I was watching the last game, the second game, game 2. And I kept seeing guys wide open, and I'm like, what the fuck are the Knicks doing on defense? But they're helping. They're switching, and they're not switching fast enough. And really, I don't even think there is a fast enough switch. Because as soon as you come off of a player, the ball is heading right to their hands, especially if Halliburton got, like, he's so in sync with all of his teammates. Soon as you leave them for a millisecond, the ball is already there. And the ball moves faster than a person. And by the time you recover, the shot's already going up, whether it's Miles Turner or Neesmith or Nembhard. And they knocking it down. I think that's the biggest problem. Like, you can't help. You damn sure can't help on drives or anything like that. And you can't really switch. Because the millisecond you move away from a player, the ball is going to their hand. And I think that's why Indiana, at least on the offensive end, is rolling like they are. And then again, like I said, on defense, you got Neesmith checking the best player. Nembhard is playing really hard. Like, he's diving for the ball and ball hawking. Like, every time whoever he's checking touches the ball, he's right in their grill. He know what they have for breakfast that morning. Like, he's on their ass. Even Halliburton is playing the passing lanes very well. Miles Turner always been a good defender. And it's just kind of somewhat overwhelming. And it's just the Pacers have an actual chance. They really do. And that led me to something else too. I know I'm jumping the gun because they haven't even beat the Knicks yet, but if the Pacers win it all, what does that do for Rick Carlisle's legacy? Because I forgot Rick Carlisle was their coach. Once I seen that, I was like, ooh, they might actually do it. Once I seen Rick Carlisle was the coach, because for those of y'all, the young whippersnappers that don't remember, this is one of the most heartbreaking finals runs and playoff runs I've ever seen, because when the 2011 Dallas Mavericks won the championship, I was fucking devastated. And let me tell you why. I like Dirk. I like Jason Terry, Tyson Chandler. All those guys were cool. But me and my dad used to bet in the beginning of the year. Like, he would pick 15 teams, I would pick 15 teams. And whichever side ended up winning the championship, we would get $100, right? Which technically my dad was really paying himself, because at the time I was a teenager. I was like 13, 14. I wasn't working. So he was really just paying himself realistically. But we would bet. And in 2011, I had Dallas. I had Dallas on my side. But Miami or the Spurs were my favorite. Like I figured the Spurs, Miami, the Lakers, somebody like that was gonna win a championship. Like I was pretty much locked in on that. We get to the playoffs, and Dallas is playing, I believe, Portland in the first round. And Portland, I think, like blows them out in the first game or something crazy like that. And like I think they might have lost the second game or something along those lines. And I was frustrated. I said, "What the fuck? Why are y'all letting Portland whoop your ass?" And I had Portland as well. And I don't know what came over me, but Dallas was just playing real bad in that first game. That I, for some reason, was like, you know what? Just take Dallas. Don't even give me nobody for them. Just take them. I don't know what came over me. I don't know why I did that. There was no reason for me to do that. I had both teams. One of them was just going to get eliminated. It didn't matter. But for some reason, I was like, just take Dallas. And my dad was like, okay, cool. I'll take them. They come back, beat Portland. Okay. It's the Trailblazers. Dame was young as hell. LaMarcus Aldridge was pretty much by himself. Okay, cool. Then they play the Lakers. And I'm like, Cole coming off a back-to-back. I'm not saying he go 3-peat, but the Lakers going to get them the fuck up out of there. Sweeps the fucking Lakers. Okay. A broken clock is right twice a day. You know? Okay. Right? The sweep is a little crazy, but, you know, the Lakers are coming off a back-to-back. Maybe they just tired. Cool. Then I think they play OKC. Either OKC or the Spurs. But either way, whichever team it was, there was no way that Dallas was beating them in the conference final. No way. Guess what they did? Just guess. Put in the comments down below what do you think Dallas did in the conference final. Okay. Dallas is overachieving. They went to the finals. Okay, cool. They're playing against the Miami Heat. They first year together. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. All right. Party's over. Let's wrap this up. And Dirk Nowitzki proceeded to put on one of the greatest finals performances I've ever seen. Anybody they put on him. Barbecue fucking chicken. Dirk, first of all, Dirk should own a portion of Chris Bosh's house. The way he whooped Chris Bosh's ass. Bosh is a good defender. In some cases, sometimes even great. And he couldn't do a motherfucking thing with Dirk Nowitzki that series. Dirk was doing shit I never seen him do. I didn't even think he could do. He's doing reverse layups, up and unders. He's dribbling spin move layups on motherfuckers. I'm fucking dumbfounded watching this. LeBron switch on him. He getting cooked. Then Jason Terry is going fucking crazy. I think he averaged like 22 or 25 points per game that series. JJ Barea cooking. Jason Kidd making threes. Since when? As y'all can see, I'm still fucking devastated about that. But I digress. Rick Carlisle has a history of taking teams or unexpected teams further than they were expected to go. And by that I mean winning with unexpected teams. And if he does it again with this Pacers team, who was on nobody's radar, where does that put him as far as coaches of all time? Where does that put him? Also, too, where's that put Pascal Siakam? Because he won in Toronto, and you could say, you know, that was because Golden State was injured. And Kawhi mostly took care of that. That's true, but Siakam was definitely the second guy. And then he went again with the Pacers. He just scored 39 points in game 2, and I don't think he's going to slow down anytime soon. What does that do for him? What does that do for Tyrese Halliburton, who literally just went from overrated to underrated? He's got to become top 5 point guard in the league. He might already be that, but that he should be solidified as top 5, maybe even top 3. SGA just won MVP. Brunson will probably drop down a little bit. Where does that put Tyrese Halliburton? That's just kind of where I wanted to get to. What do y'all think? Like, if the Pacers win, what does that do for Rick Carlisle's legacy after winning in Dallas, an unsuspected team winning a championship, and then winning again with another unsuspecting team with the Pacers? What does that do for Siakam, his second championship? Obviously, he becomes a solidified championship level forward, and I don't think the Pacers will let him go, but, teams should be clamoring for Siakam. What does that mean for his career, his legacy? What does that mean for Halliburton as a point guard in the league? Like, where does that rank him as a top point guard in the league today? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The Pacers are shocking me, and I feel like I'm feeling this feeling like I felt in Dallas when Dallas was running the table in 2011. What if they shock the fucking world? What if they actually do it? I have OKC winning, and I kind of wanted to see Knicks versus OKC in the finals, but the Pacers is growing on me. I like them. They clutch. They play for each other. I feel like it'd be a Cinderella story if they won, and who doesn't like a Cinderella story? But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're thinking of the new YouTube channel. You can check out my old basketball videos on PLAX TV if you'd like. Just let me know what you think of the rebrand. I hope you guys enjoying it, and most of all, YouTube, I love you guys. Peace out.